Hey everybody, how's it going? It is the Fantasy Rugby Games. My name is Jared Dyke.
I'm Ben Glauser.
Welcome in. We are recording from just outside Boston, Massachusetts. It was a busy week, and it's going to be another busy week. So here we go now.
And away we go.
And it's not even just the action on the field. Lots going around the field.
A lot of off-field news. A lot of interesting interviews. A lot of interesting reactions.
Some good interviews with that one.
Some things that happened that we're not quite sure why they're happening, and then some things that are happening when we're like, why the fuck haven't you done this before, like years ago?
Why did it take you this long?
And I think we're about to cover all of that right now.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's pop these things first.
Hell yeah.
Everybody make sure that you're checking us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, tune in, download us, rate us, subscribe to us, all those good things.
No dick pics, please.
Yeah, preferably not. I mean, keep them on the DL at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, you know. That's my official stance. It's all on the record.
Is that what we're going with?
Yeah.
So if you want to send Ben one, yeah, make sure. Obviously we're kicking into another Prem week, so you want to get your TRM upgrade and start to get your edge on there. Big time. These guys, it's only going to help you, especially lineups. Who knows who's going to start because of international call-ups, and depends on which coach is going to be a dick and which coach isn't. So all those things are going to be helpful. So you're going to want that thing to know who's starting at the very least. And then I'll check out our friend, the Fantasy Rugby Geek, who I beat this week in one of our Super Rugby Draft League.
Still undefeated.
TRFY undefeated against FRG. There's still plenty of chances to break that duck, so I'm not gonna count on that.
I mean, it is two of us against one of him. Yeah. So I mean, he's just one man.
He's just one man, but he is a great man.
He is
at the same time.
Fantastic, filled with excellent rugby knowledge.
Yes.
And filled with fantasy rugby knowledge, especially, and guy who just delivers content upon content upon content. So even if you follow him, especially on the Twitters, even if you miss something, he's likely to post something new, and you can go back and see what you missed anyway. Mm-hmm. So absolutely, always good shit coming out of Fantasy Rugby Geek.
Yeah, rarely not entertaining stuff at the very least.
Also that.
Let's talk about player movement a little bit. Callum Brayley leaving. The long-standing line that is at Gloucester at scrum half and moving to Italian club Zebra. I think it was Zebra.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, makes sense. He's obviously an Italian international now.
It's Benetton.
Huh? Either one.
Yeah,
doesn't matter because he's moving to the country he's playing for, so it makes sense. And he gets to start more often than not. He's definitely buried in the depth chart. They have two quality nines. They have Willie Hines and they have Joe Simpson. Obviously. Unfortunately, when the time comes where he can possibly get a start is when he's away too, because he gets called up to Italy the same time Willie Hines gets called up to England. So it's like, seeking better playing time.
This is one of those rare moves that's good for everyone involved.
Probably, yeah.
Maybe not so much for Gloucester, but they have Willie Hines, they have Joe Simpson. They need somebody to develop behind those two, but they'll be okay for now. It's good for Brayley because he'll get more playing time. And it's good for Italian rugby.
Yeah.
They really need this. They need more players there playing with their players to really raise that standard. So good move. Yeah. And fun announcement too.
Yeah, that was a great video. I love that. That was pretty funny.
With him not answering certain things.
Dude. Yeah. And then Paul Asike just extended at Quins.
Which is an excellent move. Also, excellent move all around.
Awesome for him. I mean, awesome person in general, and just all around great player, great guy. So yeah, quality re-sign there for them. No worrying about that center position.
No,
they'll get Marchant back next year, and that'll be a fun combination.
Yeah,
that'll be a fun combination.
Good luck stopping them.
Yeah, that's a nice little duo there. And then the news coming out of the Rico, Dai Young stepping back, quote unquote. I don't know. I think this is the nice way to say that he's not going to be part of the team anymore.
Yeah.
They're trying to be nice because he has spent a long time there.
Yeah, and you do that respectfully with someone who's been there that long. But this is a long time coming. They've been underperforming, and their best players have been leaving, and there's just a lot going bad with Wasps. So I think this is ultimately a positive. I'm looking forward to see what they do now with a different coach, and hopefully a different style of play.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and they have such young talent that's still that can do some fun things and do some real good things. So hopefully this develops them more than than they have been being developed in the past.
Yeah, and then I don't know all the details at this point, but the news that RFU are cutting funding to the championship, which makes zero sense.
I think it was like having the funding.
Yeah, so. And really, and to me, the first thing that went to my brain, and doesn't mean it's accurate, is that they're trying to start inching towards ring fencing, and that's what went to my brain first thought. But like I said, doesn't mean it's accurate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on with RFU and how they want to develop this, but that's going to be bad for player morale. It's going to be bad for the championship as a whole. Like, and obviously we don't really get to see it over here, so it's not something that impacts our rugby watching. But this is how many players have we seen come through the championship and
turn to dynamite players in the Prem? Yeah,
like Christian Judge kind of came out of the Pirates and showed his quality for Saracens, and that got him a contract and a home in the Premiership. Like
100%.
These players, you still need them. If you can't, there's too many clubs in the Premiership who can't develop through their academy, who need things like the championship to pull players in, and you gotta make sure We see this in the U.S. This is very much a U.S. move, USA Rugby type move, where you got to build grassroots. Your players don't come from nowhere.
No,
and they need to be able to play high level games against high level competition, and the championship provides that. And if you're putting that at risk, I want to know why, and I want to know what the long term benefit is that they think they're going to see.
Same. I want to be a fly on the wall in that room for sure. So, unfortunate stuff. Let's go. Hey, if you didn't know, MLR started this weekend. A little whip around here. Other than the obvious, did you happen to catch any game in particular?
I caught the best team in the league, the Free Jacks.
Besides that one.
I wasn't able to watch any of the other matches, unfortunately.
I did get a chance to watch NOLA DC. DC a little depowered, definitely showing the depth problems that still exist a little bit in MLR.
Sure.
Missing some players and getting absolutely tonked by NOLA, who are a good team.
They're a good team. Yeah.
Who are a good team. I think it's and I asked the question: are DC this bad, or is NOLA this good? I think it's a little bit of a combination of both, but NOLA is very good. Let's just establish that right now.
Right.
The other new boys looks like they were able to take care of Utah. Utah hasn't been as strong as they once were. San Diego and Seattle, I watched the end of that. That was a really good game.
Right.
Nanu was having a fucking day.
Yeah.
He was having fun with that one.
I'm not sure that I can see that, but I need to try to see that.
Yeah, you need to find a way to watch that one. That was a fantastic game. Can we delete the Gilgronis yet?
It was might bad. As well.
It was bad. Like the uniforms, like a little too Texas UT.
Yeah, because they're like the burnt orange kind of thing. No,
I'm not into that.
What are you doing?
I am not into that. No, you need to connect with the community. You need to connect with the rugby community. Not. Yeah. So sorry. And they just looked like football uniforms. They really looked like football uniforms. It was ugly. So yeah,
it's Texas.
Thankfully, the Arrows just like put their fire out real fast and just said, nope, we're not having any of this crap, and hosed them.
I mean, good. In a battle of Canada versus Texas, I'm taking Canada every damn time.
Canada. Hooray, Canada. But yeah, let's go to Vegas and New England Free Jacks 34, the New York Rugby United New York, 14. And that was definitely a result that nobody in the U.S. expected because all the quote-unquote experts picked Rooney.
Every single one. Yeah, picked
hilarious.
Rooney.
I was like, and then the Free Jacks decided to post, that's none of my business.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
can we talk about Bastereau? Eating is so it was funny. So we were we went out to the pub on Saturday for the Six Nations and hanging out with our rugby club and talking to some of the guys about it, and it came up as it obviously in conversation the Free Jacks Rooney match, and obviously Bastereau, because we're like, oh shit, that's gonna be fun to watch, and I'm like, because we haven't seen anything from them.
No.
And I was like, I bet Bastereau eats his contract. Like, he's just going to go and they're like, well, is he even going to travel to Las Vegas? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Have you seen the free buffets out there? And
facts.
And
facts.
So, but it was a joke, and we, I wasn't completely serious about it because, a guy of his stature was going to want, I would assume, would have some pride and would want to show very well. Aside from him lumbering around the field, like walking around the field mostly, I think he had like one carry and he ran into a double tackle and got shoved straight backwards. Like, this is not what Rooney signed him to do.
Not likely.
So, as much as we're Boston sports fans, well, Boston area based sports fans, and don't like New York that much. I'm very happy to see that Rooney has signed this guy because he is not. I don't imagine he's going to do too well for them.
And the kits. Oh, those were hideous kits.
Orange pinstripes.
Those were hideous kits.
And so they're if you're a New York based club of any kind, and you want to model your uniform after one of the local baseball teams.
That's not the one I'm doing.
You don't go with the Mets, you go with the Yankees. Like, who would want to given the choice, why would you associate with the Mets? No. We don't do that.
Yeah, that was bad. That was very bad. Probably the most bizarre try we're going to see this year.
Oh, yes.
Bar none. The kick from our buddy, our friend of the pod, Tag Leader, that just took the most awkward and outrageous bounce off the post. Bodine Waaka is there to grab it and fall. I was like, I think that's who it was.
No, it was
who was it?
It was the 8-man.
Oh, was it Hemapo?
It was Hemapo.
Oh my goodness.
And this was a kick, so it was a free kick off of a scrum from their own 22. And wind assisted, so
definitely wind assisted.
Look, Tig has a boot on him.
He does,
and he used it very well, going with the wind and into the wind. But this particular kick, it took off. He put it up high, so it got excellent distance, excellent help from the wind. And
of the day.
whoever was back there for Rooney,
I think it was Foden.
He let it bounce. I think it was Foden. Lets it bounce, hits the crossbar, and right into
your first mistake, sir.
I think that's usually what they tell you to do when you're one of those back three is don't let the ball bounce.
Yikes!
But, not much he could do. That wind was something else.
Yep. Yeah, so it was. They did play some good stuff. They got on top and they didn't let go once they got on top, and they did a good job of just putting the game away.
Right, and that's one of those where it was 22-7 at half or something like that.
To that effect.
And you're like, okay, well they had the win the whole first half, so there's nothing stopping Rooney from flipping that in the second half. Like I was thinking that lead was not quite safe. That was like a 30-point win right there.
Yeah, I felt like it.
And Rooney never really did anything.
Nope.
And Free Jacks did a very good job even playing into the wind. Of maintaining possession and just holding them off. So
yeah, their guy that got into the MLR first 15 of the week, Kenny Takayama, he led that scrum amazingly.
Yeah.
Can we talk about some of the great names that are in this friggin' team? First of all, we have Bodine Waaka.
Waka.
Yeah, you're not going to stop me from doing that all year. I'm sorry. And then Brickhouse, come on, man. I mean, he's a loose head prop. What do you think I'm gonna call him?
Built like a shit Brickhouse.
He is. So, sorry. I mean, great names. But I really feel bad for those that tuned in from around the world and had to hear the commentary all throughout the weekend because a lot of it was terrible. There was one from the NOLA game. The guys that were on commentary. One of these guys was this old. Scrum half, and when I say old, the man is older than you and I easily.
Yeah,
and it's like, dude, you didn't you played in like the 80s. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And talking about all the things that that used to be okay, and like we talked about that before, and I'm like, shut up. And he used to be a halfback. He's like, oh, I love a halfback that gets in your face. I'm like, I want to choke you right now. Yeah. I really do. I want to hit you like really hard. I don't remember the guy's name because it wasn't worth it, but fuck, I was like, oh, this guy sounds like... I was just embarrassed for the country that anybody that had to listen to that game, because that is actually a rugby, knowledgeable person.
It's purely American. Hardo.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
That game was better back in my day. I was better back in... Shut up. No, you weren't. Ugh. And no, it wasn't. And go fuck yourself.
All the above. All the above. Bodie and Waaka did get into the first 15 of the week as well, which is awesome.
Well, he had 2 tries, and they were excellent tries.
And he set one up, not directly, but pretty fucking close. I mean, between him, Beard, and Steele, that was a brilliant try.
Those 3 Kiwis, I mean... So
get yourself a Kiwi, kids.
Right. And 3 if you can, because they'll work well together.
I think we had like 5 on that.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Because Himipo was one too. I think, and there's a Fijian in there too. Yep. There was we got some sneaky good talent there.
I was impressed with Poland too, the halfback. His service was very very on point. Could have been a little faster, but you know what? For this level, that's pretty good. And only being game 1. Pretty good. Unfortunately, the attendance wasn't great in Vegas, but you have 2 East Coast teams. They're not necessarily going to travel that well. Next weekend's going to be huge.
It was on a Sunday, too.
Yes, next weekend's going to be huge. There's going to be 4 games there.
Okay.
Free Jacks will be part of it. They're playing Utah, I think. A couple of the teams that are a little closer are coming in, so that there'll be fans there. Hopefully, we can get a little more than there was there, unfortunately. But it was a great first weekend. Who knows? The thing's up for grab. We had 2 of the new kids win out of the 3. So it's going to be a fun year. Buckles up. There was other rugby too this weekend, wasn't there?
No, nothing that important. Nothing as important as the Free Jacks' first ever match in MLR.
Yeah, and the answer to the trivia question is Mitch Wilson. First try scorer in Free Jacks history.
Yes.
That's the answer to the trivia question there, kids. So when you get asked that later on,
which you will.
Yeah.
There's a quiz.
There's a test later. Ireland and Wales.
What a match!
Brilliant job by Ireland, obviously.
This is what I was hoping for when they moved on from Joe Schmidt to a real coach. To a more creative
to a
coach.
Different coach.
Sorry, I had something in my throat there. They really moved the ball well. They worked. It wasn't just the hit ups, and there seemed to be a more of a plan and it's something that I've been looking for from Ireland for a while.
Right.
I wasn't expecting it this quickly, but I'm very happy to see it.
Yeah, it's really good stuff from the boys in green. Obviously, a home match downing the defending Six Nations champions, Ireland 24, Wales 14. Wales just seemed to be out of ideas.
Yeah, and Nick Tompkins kind of hurt them defensively. He missed 3 key tackles. I think 2 of them led to tries.
Bad, Tomo. Bad.
Right. Maybe not directly, but one almost directly and the other indirectly. He made up for it a little bit in the second half, but it still wasn't there. George North disappeared.
And we talked about maybe that wasn't the place to put him. Probably not on the wing. So we'll see what changes Wayne Pivac makes. There's still a lot to go.
Right.
This is a long competition.
I mean, look, it's hard to beat Ireland in Ireland no matter what. But it's even harder when Ireland are actually playing
good rugby.
Quality rugby.
Yep.
And run into a buzzsaw like that, that's the result you're gonna face. Unless you play at your peak, in which case you might lose by 7.
Yeah, and look out. Good luck trying to stop Tyke Furlong, the brick.
Dude just scores. He's for as much as we talk about Josh Adams scoring on during all these international competitions.
Who had
Furlong
to leave early too.
Yeah, I hope he's okay.
Same.
That was a little rough. But yeah, like Furlong is one of those guys who, for fantasy purposes, he's an excellent addition to your team. Yeah.
It's a great prop. Yeah, so Ireland 24, Wales 14. Ireland are looking at so far they're staring at a Grand Slam. We'll see how they got a couple more.
Ireland France is going to be fun.
Tests coming up here.
Yeah,
big time, and I mean that in every sense of the word. Let's go up to Murrayfield in the Calcutta Cup, which wasn't all that great.
Played in a
Oh, it was poor
Wind
weather,
and
obviously.
rain,
Was it Storm CR or something like
Yeah.
that was coming in? I was like, ugh, this is not going to be good, is it?
No,
And
it was
wasn't.
not good.
It was poor. It was really. It was weather that was just asking for a bad game, unfortunately, and it was not a good game. Yes, England win. Scotland 6, England 13, but oh man, a whole lot of ugliness to this one. Really, it was not good at all from either team, but obviously the better team ended up being England. This thing was on a knife edge for a long time, and it just never felt like Scotland wanted to take control, though. England never really did it themselves, but Scotland just like...
Scotland have no real attack. So it's one of those, they can threaten, but until they start actually putting, some tries over, if I recall correctly, because I don't have the score in front of me, they didn't score, right? I mean, they didn't score a try.
They didn't get over, no.
So they've played 2 Six Nations matches
without scoring over,
and only have penalty kicks to show for it. At some point, you're going to start put the fucking penalty kicks away. When there's a penalty, don't bring the tee out. Tell them no. You go and you play with that ball, because fuck, if they're not going to be scoring tries, what's the point?
Right. No, I agree. They had territory and possession, but did nothing with it.
You know who would have really helped them in this match?
Finn Russell. Yeah. Just a thought. But apparently that is not a good relationship at all.
No, and I was listening to the pod on the way over, and Goody mentioned he's right. The coach always wins in that, but at some point you got to take the L as a coach.
There has to be a point where you have to. I saw somebody say something about like you got to manage the Maverick at some point because he's going to do you good.
Or at some point you got to realize why is this relationship not good, and what's the coach's role in that, rather than I'm the coach, I do what I want. Yeah, you're the player. Blah blah blah.
I don't necessarily
that hardo mentality. That I'm the big swinging dick mentality. What does that get you?
Nope. It doesn't do a whole lot of good, man.
Right. Like at some point, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face, and it's not helpful for anybody. it makes you look bad because you have your best. Like that interview reminded me of Todd Clever's interview about Tolkien.
Oh, God.
And the shit that he pulled when he was the coach of
that says a lot
the
right
Eagles.
There.
And if Tolkien, and very few of you out there know who Tolkien is, and I'm
glad that
jealous of you for not knowing who he is. But he was an old Eagles.
I feel good about it.
He was an old USA Eagles coach who was he was the tyrant, and they're not that good. So you can be that tyrant when you have I don't know how they do it over there, but in America, you win, you get the championship ring. So when you can wave that ring in someone's face and say, we're doing it my way because I have one of these and you don't, that's one thing. You don't have that ring?
No.
And shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
do what's best for the team because you're not that guy yet.
You haven't got there yet, man. So we'll see how that goes. Interesting post-match shenanigans happened, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. We all should be, and if you're not, go fuck yourself.
Oh, and yes, I'm now. By the way, I'm officially an Ellis Genge supporter now.
Yeah, we put that on record.
I'm putting that out there. I still think he has a long way to go as a player to round out his game, but instead of focusing on his shortcomings as I have in the past, now I'm going to focus on a positive and hoping that he shuts up the fucking haters who are dicks to him.
Yeah,
there's no need for any of that.
And the whole, he had a beer. Dude, do you know how heavily involved beer is with rugby? If you're so naive that you're like, it doesn't happen, how many beer sponsors are there for rugby teams? Endless. Right. Endless numbers. Like, and they talk about it in every good rugby story starts with, we went and had a beer with these guys. It's just how it goes.
The story from last week.
Yeah, Joe Marler. That was amazing.
Let's go have a beer.
Yes.
Nobody
knows that we have beer. Yes, we do. Shut the fuck up.
Well, see and that's where it gets to for me is that let's put it. I'm going to put it as innocuously as I can. For some of these people, it's okay when Joe Marler has a beer. But it's not okay when Ellis Genge has a beer. And I'll let you sort out why that is, because we all know why the fuck that is. And that's why I'm an Ellis Genge fan now, because
that's a fact.
Because this is still very much a white man's sport, unfortunately. in certain eyes, I should say. Not in general, but in many people's eyes.
Jake White.
we'll allow the Ellis Genges of the world to play for us, but they can't enjoy themselves. They can't have a beer after the match. They can't do this. They can't blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, sit on and rotate.
Yeah. So,
better yet, sit on a railroad spike and rotate. How about that?
Or just find a different sport to watch.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
all the racists, they can go watch soccer because that's where that shit belongs.
Well, that shit's being really stamped out over there. Right. Like, players are refusing to play games when they're getting racist chants. They're like, nope, which is good. Not happening. Yeah. Not happening. Fuck you all. So good on them too. Anyway, Scotland 6, England 13. England kind of sort of right the ship after still a semi-questionable lineup. And I want to clarify something before we move on. I want to know why everybody was a George Floyd fan. If he is like a fantasy thing that you are loving because we all have our fantasy running backs. That was our man crush when we won the league. I get it. Mine was Peyton Hillis. Believe it or not. Won me a league because he was a pickup and he scored like 3 straight weeks of unbelievable points. I get it. I appreciate that, but knocking down fantasy points like you read about is one thing, but being able to put on your country shirt and perform the way you're supposed to perform is completely something different. So let's just leave that as it is. Mm-hmm. I understand. I can appreciate the love for somebody for that reason alone. If it keeps you out of a silly punishment for your fantasy league, awesome. Ride that thing until it fucking dies. But fantasy to real life doesn't translate.
He's got to go. Yeah. I mean, that's bottom line. You look at the best game that England have played recently. He was nowhere to be found on the pitch, and
New Zealand,
and Farrell is a 10. So
he's not 12.
I see what Eddie was trying to do. It didn't work. Let's move on.
Hasn't taken. It started off. It hasn't gone any further than where it started off. Hasn't improved.
Right.
It started at a certain level. People figured it out. It hasn't changed.
Right.
So that's the problem now. Did it work when it first started? Yes, because nobody knew what the fuck to do. Mm-hmm. But now that everybody knows what the fuck to do, there's no answer for it.
Right.
So yeah, needs a switcheroo there. The Sunday game, France 35, Italy 22, was plenty of entertainment.
Yes,
and
Italy were good.
Yeah, they played.
Italy played. I was incredibly if
this was close for a little while.
Yeah, and if it was not for the absolute genius of Dupont and Ntamack, that Italy team could have pulled out the W there.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It was they had that. There was a 10-minute spell where they scored 10 points real quick, and made this thing look real interesting. But the right guys for France eventually took over. You said 2 of them. Gregory Aldrit is another one that
yes, he is.
that comes to mind. And what universe are we living in where France have 2 amazing scrum halves between Baptiste Serrand and freaking Dupont? I don't know a better pair in the world it's certainly not in this competition at the moment.
Right.
Cooney and Murray would give them a run for their money, but that's it.
Faf and Reinach. And
if this were in the world, yes, right. I agree.
Oh,
with
but
that.
if you're talking Six Nations,
Nations, I'd say Murray and Cooney probably give them a run for the money, and that's it.
Probably.
So yeah, that was brilliant. Rates unfortunately had to leave this game. Hopefully, Pinot's ready to rock and roll by the time the next Six Nations game rolls around.
Yeah, apparently he is. He'll be. I think from what I heard, he's going to be in the.
That's good news. That's good news for France because Rates is going to be out for a little while.
And can we talk about the most valuable player of the match, the post?
They got involved, that's for sure.
But Ntamack hit a crossbar, and then he hit both posts.
And it still went through.
And then Boutier's long-ass kick that was going through.
That was definitely going through the back.
And it hits the padding and stops. Just
really, really, really good luck. Really dumb luck, but sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good.
But well done, Posts, getting in the match.
Yes.
Doing work.
Well done. Well done to you. I commend Italy for stepping up and playing a lot better. Last week was not great. They had the right ideas, but they were poorly executed.
Right, and I thought they executed much better this match. So
I agree.
I think they're going to take out Scotland.
They may if Scotland continues to play this way and they don't get Finn Russell back into that lineup.
And I don't think they're after that interview. I don't think they're getting Finn Russell back.
You might be right.
unless Townsend literally gets on his knees and says, "Please come back. I was wrong," which that's not going to happen. And Finn's not going to. He's saying, "Fuck off. I'm happy here."
Yeah, I mean,
I don't blame him.
He gets to be himself.
Italy's game there reminded me a lot of another upstart team that has recently beaten Scotland and even Ireland. And that's the kind of game that will crush an uncreative kind of do nothing team like Scotland. So Italy, I mean, they might move on and not take the spoon. It might go to Scotland this time around.
That'd be very interesting. All right. To the other hemisphere, Super Rugby. This was a telling week in many ways. I didn't get a chance to watch this one, the Highlanders and the Sharks, but Highlanders got off to a very slow start. They looked pretty sluggish. Josh Ioane did not play well. I think he might have even got banged up. In any case, he was played at 12 again. A guy that's probably not a 12 playing it, so not great. This was not a good one for them. And from what I understand, there's a lot to be desired for them at the moment. Sharks look really good again, so good on them. Mac Mapimpi, Fossey, Venter all getting over. Kerwin Bosch being Kerwin Bosch. He's gonna be a huge piece of this Sharks team. You can already feel it.
I mean, when he can do so much as a 10, as a distributor. Maybe he's not the runner that you're looking for all the time. He can. But I think his value, I think, is in distributing that ball, especially to those those playmakers he's got outside him. That's going to be extremely helpful for the Sharks the rest of the way out. Yeah,
the one thing that's catching my eye in this match report is a lot of unforced errors from the Highlanders. So maybe the yips. Maybe a case of the yips.
Well, I mean, that's the thing with a lot of these the New Zealand squads is they do throw the ball. When it goes badly, but then throwing the ball around, it goes very badly.
It can go very badly.
And the Highlanders, I think this is going to be a down year for them,
which is unfortunate because they had a decent year last year.
They did.
They were on an uptick.
But they've got some holes in their lineup now, and like you said, they have a 10 at 12, which, as we all know, not the best idea at all times.
No, it's not. It's not necessarily a good idea. We'll see how that goes. But Highlanders 20, Sharks 42. Sharks are probably looking like the strongest team in South Africa right now, if I had to guess. With the Stormers probably being a close second. Over to Australia, Brumbies and Rebels. I think I found Australia's 10 for this summer. His name's Noah Lolesio. He played very well. Good distributor, good foot. Made some fucking ballsy ass kicks for on the touchline. This kid's got it. Okay. If you can keep him level head, he's got it. Really good stuff. Rebels played a little better in this match, but still, let it get away from them in the first half. So, and they interviewed one of their coaches on the sideline, and he was less than happy until they finally turned it around. But still, point being, they need to pick it up a little bit, obviously.
Well, I think they're still dragging ass from the travel.
Yeah, I think they are too. They'll be home this weekend if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see if they can fix it. Everybody's giving Tavita Kurandrani all the attention for the Rebel centers. Ira Simone's playing brilliantly for these guys. That 12 shirt is his. He's been a bit of a journeyman. He scored a try. He set up another one, and he was doing damage left and right. So I loads of credit to the dude. I love seeing it. He's not quite the big battering 12 that you think about, but can do a little bit more, which is
I like
what you
that.
want.
You don't need the 12, in my opinion. You don't need the 12 to be the battering ram. It's nice to have a battering ram somewhere in the centers, but I don't think that's necessary, especially the way a lot of these teams play now. If you want a battering ram that's running through the centers, you use one of your wing forwards in that role. In the loose. So I like more distributors and runners at both positions. So yeah, Simone and Kurandrani together as a combination.
Yeah.
Yes, that will play well.
Yeah, they both played very well. Obviously, Kurandrani is very good. Simone's definitely made this a point this year. So good on him. Brumbies 39, Rebels 26. Rebels showing a little bit of life. I believe Matt Tua. Did Matt Tua come off early in this one? Did I miss that up? No, yeah, he came off really early.
Okay,
came off 41 minutes.
Oh, I was wondering why his points were a little lower.
Were garbage. Yeah, they were bad. I was able to not start him, but still I didn't feel great.
I didn't have much of a choice.
Oh boy. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes this week. Let's go to the Saturday games. This was a good one for you.
I was not too displeased with the result.
I imagine so. Chiefs 25, Crusaders 15. Looked like Crusaders were going to have it for a little while, but then Chiefs did their second half thing.
Yeah, and the Chiefs last year, my biggest gripe about them was their just complete lack of defense. Mm-hmm. Like teams would tear them apart, and it looked pretty much like that might have been the case with 2 tries from Sever Reese early.
Oh yeah.
But then it was also one of these like double-edged swords. Like he got some 2 nice tries, but they were kind of walk-in tries.
Yeah.
Cross-field kicks. So it's like, okay,
good vision from David Havili.
Right. Is that and it's just if that's the only way you can score, then okay. But the problem was in the past that would start like that and then just become what was it? Just a track
Swiss
meet.
Yeah, a little bit of Swiss cheese there.
Yeah, and so I was worried about them holding up, but the Chiefs really came back strong.
They did.
With what was it? Weber coming on right after Tourangi scores a cheeky scrum half try.
Yes, he did
to take the lead. And then he just
the Weber offload. That was brilliant.
Weber offload.
That was amazing. That was a very, very good offload. That was an 8-man a 7 offload, an 8-man offload. It was from a freaking scrum half.
If the coaches out there, if you want to show your players how to offload, find the
Case
clip of
and
that.
Point.
He did everything right. He got his shoulders through, put the ball on the across the line of the defense, and just put the ball laterally.
Yeah, to his friend.
To who was it?
Was
Wainui?
I'll say was that the Wainui try?
Yeah, it was Wainui try. And he strolled in. There was nothing there.
Good read for Wainui to just hit that line hard too.
Two other things. First, we had Bum in this match.
Who's Bum?
We had hold on, let me see who it was. It was Sanders.
Oh, Tom Sanders Bum.
Yeah, for the Crusaders. Yeah, right off a line out. I think he had pulled it down, and somebody pulled his pants down.
He got pants.
He got pants in the mall. Yeah, always fun to see Bum in a rugby match. And then Lachlan Bashir with the penalties.
Amazing. So good. He's a 7 playing 6.
Yeah, and he had two penalties during Squeaky Bum time.
Came up huge. Yep.
Yeah, Marty Mack missed the one, but he got the second.
You mean Jamie Mack?
Jamie Mack, sorry.
Bad boy.
And they missed the one, but the second one didn't matter anyway because it was with time expiring. Clock was red. But nice 10-point win for a little come from behind.
Yep.
Just well played all around by the Chiefs.
Beat the defending champs too. That. Yeah, Demi Mack going the distance, pretty impressive.
Good, that's excellent to see. This is the kind of things we need for with him being able, that his knee's healthy. That's the most important thing
for them. Absolutely. Here's the question: between Tatar Tourangi and Brad Weber, I don't know if there's a better scrum half pairing in this league. I think Jamie Booth and TJ Paranar would give him a run for the money, but after week 1, I would have questioned that. But after watching them last week, I think I can stand by that. But between those two, I don't know if there's a weak link between those two.
There's not. So. And, I mean, it's I thought Tourangi was starting week 1 because it's week 1, and you kind of want to work your lineup certain ways, but. That combination right there, they're both good with the ball. They're both good runners. They're both extremely creative. You can't really go wrong with either one.
Yeah, both.
I'm
playing very well.
I'm not going to disagree with your assessment there.
No,
Let's put it that
way. I have a hard time thinking of 2 better ones at the moment. So, yeah, I'd say we can probably pencil that one in right there.
That doesn't displease me at all.
Chiefs 25, Crusaders 15. Chiefs are undefeated still.
Hell yeah.
A whole 2 weeks.
We end the season. We're good.
Hope so. Waratahs 12, Blues 32. Blues picking up where they left off last week. Yeah, they lost, but they're still playing pretty well. I didn't get a chance to finish this match, but Mark Talia apparently is a beast, scoring a hat trick. Maybe he's the winger that they were missing. No Rico Ioane, obviously he's out for a little while, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, 6 to 8. Yep.
Gross. Parafed not playing terribly in place of Bowden Barrett. My start of the week last week looked pretty good. Joe Marchant got over.
Yes, he did.
He's looking really good.
He is.
So good on that guy. We got to learn how to say this dude's name because he's just still doing it. Waaka to Nawasi.
Waaka to Nawasi.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
Waaka Nawasi.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway,
we'll get it.
We'll get it eventually because he's gonna keep popping up because he's too freaking good. But he gets over. Waratahs still have a few kinks to get out of their system. Clearly. I know what you think that they lie. I'm sure. So, it is interesting that they have been running Will Harrison out there, and I don't know if Mac Mason is hurt or if he's just not in the plans. But
yeah,
I know it's a new coach, New South Wales. But okay, very interesting. We'll see. We'll see if they ride this thing until they die. Basically, I guess we're gonna find out. Over to South Africa, Lions 27, Reds 20. Reds playing a little better, still playing pretty well. Tough travel. It's not fun. James O'Connor played 10.
Okay, yeah, as we thought he might.
Yeah, we were a week off.
Yeah,
we were a week.
Well,
off.
I mean, I think he's gonna spot play there. It's not gonna be something that's gonna be an all the time thing because obviously he can play it.
He's better. He's probably a better 12
right.
or 13, but yes.
But. Well, when that's what you need a 10 and there's nobody else. All right, you're up.
Yeah, you win, dude.
What you got to do.
Fair. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. What's the match report say? I didn't get a chance to dive into this game too much. Oh yeah, Tyrone Green got over twice. I did know that. Campbell, McDermott of course. Haggerty is kicking everything in sight. Not news.
Yep.
Topsy turvy is the word that I'm seeing here. Interesting. Fun, and then Green almost got a hat trick, I guess, as well. So that would have been fun. But Lions rebound very well, 27-20. Reds are still searching for their first win. I think they're on the edge of it though. They have enough talent and good players. As long as they can keep this up, they'll be just fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're looking like they'll be in the running certainly for that South African conference.
You mean Australia conference?
Oh, sorry, you said Lions. I thought I was on
Reds.
the Lions.
Reds. Yes, yeah. Lions may yet be, but I'm still pipping the Sharks to take that one at this moment. And then as you described, shit sandwich, Stormers and Bulls.
I ate this one for the fantasy rugby. Immediately, like halfway through, I was like, sometimes I start watching a match and then I text Jared. I'm like, hey, I'm watching this, and Jared's like, hey, yeah, so am I. So this one I got into, and I was like, I need to stop Jared from watching this match.
Save him.
Like I'm diving in front of the bullet. No. This was not a good match.
Man.
So I'm trying to understand
Sounds
because
like South Africa derby to me.
I am still a little disappointed because Jamie, I could have sworn that Jamie Roberts scored a try, but I didn't get credit for the try in his fantasy points. So I'm not certain what happened there exactly. I know it was kind of a maul, and he was at the back. He got up with the ball, so you'd think that he would get credit for the try, but no.
Who got credit for it?
They're saying Sinatla got credit for it.
Weird.
He was somebody. Oh wait, yeah, somebody fucked up.
Wow.
Somebody somewhere fucked up because I don't think Sinatla was anywhere near that.
Yeah, into Benny go.
It was because it was I think it was into Benny had the ball at the back of the maul as a hooker normally does.
Right.
And it was because it was a line out maul, and Roberts came in to help, and I thought he flopped over with it ended up flopping over the ball. Maybe they gave the try to
Benny. Who knows?
That might have been the case in the end. But either way, that was interesting. But other than that, it's not like a trial or whatever. It was
either or.
It was 13-0 at half, and that's how the game ended. And there really wasn't much else to say about the match.
Yikes! Yeah.
Stormers
stay undefeated. I guess that's the best we can say about that one.
Yeah, it was kind of a mediocre play, kind of boring rugby. Unfortunately, I don't think anybody. It was played poorly. It's just that nothing materialized. So as much as work as they're doing with the ball, they never materialized into points.
Right.
So.
Unfortunate.
Every so often it's like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, but nothing happened from it. Okay. That after a while of doing that, you kind of get into, no, why the fuck am I even watching this?
It's going to be really inaccurate. Oops-a-daisy.
And that was really the rest of the rugby we're talking about.
Yeah, well, let's go over to Argentina anyway.
Oh, right, that match. That happened.
Jaguars 23, Hurricanes 26. Yes, Hurricanes,
fucking
yes.
Cracker of a
yes, yes. And to open the scoring, Jordy Barrett, which would have been good from 70.
Oh, jeez. Easily.
What a hoof.
What a leg.
Somebody check that man for horse steroids. Oh, good God.
Fucking the $1 million man there with that leg. That was
a boot. I was like, he's going to take this from the other 10, and it still had juice. So I was like, whoa.
That's
I know it has a little win assisted, but shit.
That's confidence and the ability to back it up right there.
Yeah, 100%. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, who does that? You're like on your side of your own 10-meter line.
He was dead straight, but still, it's like you got to have the confidence to say, "I got. We're going that way. Let's go."
He did and more.
What a freaking hoof! But it was a really good match. Outside of that,
because he
played really well.
Marcos Kramer just took over the match.
Oh yeah, that was a great line he scored for his try. He ran for his try as well. This thing came right down to the edge. I was so happy that they were. Billy Proctor looked like he was going to get over it, but then, I have to say, here's the thing: Gareth Evans is one of the nicest guys on the Hurricanes. So when he cheats, he doesn't know how to fucking cheat. He does it, and it's really blatant because you're like, oh yeah, sorry buddy, you don't know how to do that very well, do you? You definitely cheated. So yeah, that brought that back. But Nane Lamape returned.
Yes, he did.
He returned with a vengeance.
Yes, he did.
And TJ almost got over, and he was very honest about it. Like, yeah, I didn't get over it. Don't even check it. But it was he nearly got over. But Jamie Booth did.
Yes,
and it was pretty much Lamape that was setting it up.
Yeah, it was.
So
just excellent
he's
work
a beast.
with who was it? It was who was it 9, 10, 12?
It was him and Booth, and was it Lamb? Possibly.
I don't remember.
I think it might have been Lamb that was a part of it. But
anyway,
really good stuff.
Oh yeah, just very simple out and back and working in space with each other and just finishing. That's ultimately excellent scrum half line by Booth to be in position for it and
right where you're supposed to be
and pace to finish it off.
Yeah, so. I will say regarding Hurricanes, we can look at the Jaguars in a second here. I call him Dewey. Duplessis Creevy made an enormous jump from in his first year, but he needs to calm himself down just a little bit and get a little more discipline. He's got a shitload of energy, but he doesn't know where to put it.
Right.
So that's part of his problem, and he's giving away some really stupid penalties.
Well, that's also not only his energy, but the lid.
That lettuce.
We talked about this with Ashley Johnson and some other players like that.
Yeah, you're going to be spotted real quick.
If you're going to,
dead giveaway, dude.
Right. If you're going to make yourself visible,
don't make it so fucking obvious, man.
Right. That might not be you might not want to be that visible as a flanker doing flanker things.
No.
You kind of want to hide yourself, especially as an open side when you're going to be involved in the play a lot.
Yep.
Maybe try to blend.
Yeah, blend in just a little bit better, buddy.
Like we was kind of joking about how all the New Zealand flankers kind of look the same and how that kind of helps them get away with penalties when they come in from the side and whatnot. You're like, oh wait, was that you or you both? Oh, whatever, fuck it.
I don't remember which one you were.
Right. So it must have been fine.
Yep.
But when you have that big bush on top of your head, The referee's like, oh, that guy.
I know that guy.
I see what he's doing right there, and that's a penalty, so I'm gonna ping that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so either settle down or trim the lid.
Yeah, one or the other.
And if you don't want to trim the hair, wear a scrum cap. Hide it.
It's a possibility. That's a possibility. It's an option.
If you can fit it under.
Yeah, Bruni and Kramer were beasts for the Jaguars. They were everywhere, making tackles left and right. So you got to give him that. Maroney in the middle was doing his damnedest to contain Lamape. That's a beast to contain.
That
If that's your job to contain him, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It's tough to put him, especially when Lamape knew he had a bad week the week before. He's coming out angry and being like, I am not letting anybody fucking stop me this match. And he still did his best. Just only so much you can do with a man possessed like Lamape is sometimes. So Jaguars 23, Hurricanes 26. Hurricanes get off the schneid and come back home to at least having some points in the bag instead of going 0-2 on the road. And hopefully they get Dane Coles back this week.
Yeah, I mean that's a big win for a bunch of reasons.
Especially
away
after last week.
Right. That's something that's a momentum builder right there. It's not just getting your first win of the season. That's especially a little bit shorthanded still. That there's a lot to look forward to with the Hurricanes team, especially with things being a little open. I mean, the Chiefs are looking good, the Blues are looking good. Obviously, the Crusaders are vulnerable, so
they've shown that already.
Right, the Hurricanes are in a position where they can build off of this and do some good things as the season goes on.
Yep, for sure. All right, let's go start sit.
Back
to the coming up. Back to the Prem. Back to the Prem.
Oh,
here we go. A lot of question marks this week. Definitely look for our sheet at the end of the week for this one because it's going to be anybody's guess who's starting, who's not. Basically, we talked about, like I mentioned it earlier, really briefly. Depends on which coach wants to be a dick and which one doesn't, as far as non-England internationals go.
And also, which people want to play. There's got to be
some guys want to.
Right.
Some guys are like, "Yep, play me." And they're like, "You sure?" "Yes, play me."
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it. Haven't gotten much playing time with their top side, their international side. So
right. So that's what it is. So Friday night, Gloucester and Exeter. This should be fun for multiple reasons. We'll talk about a little bit more with Pick'em, but
both these teams are relatively unfazed by
with a few here and there.
A few, yeah, like Luke Cowan-Dickey and Pelledri.
Hogg, Pelledri. Yep.
Hogg, yeah.
So Gloucester. We're gonna go with Ackerman, Woodward, Reece Zammit if he plays, Chris Harris if he plays, Atkinson, Murray, Marshall, Morgan, Ludlow, Mostert. Definitely Mostert and TRM. Like we talked about in FRD, any lock with a pulse has a shot. So go ahead. And then Gloucester front row, Exeter front row actually surrenders quite a bit. So it was really interesting to see that.
Is Yandel back yet? I'm not sure. I'm not asking.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he is, play him in TRM for sure. Right. He's usually pretty good. Exeter, O'Flaherty, Hogg if he plays, both Simmons.
I can't imagine Hoggy's going to play.
I don't think he's going to, but you never know. Johnny Hill, Alex Cuthbert, Armand. Either fly out is fine in FRD, especially Steenson's not good in TRM, so don't play him there. And Vermeulen, if you're desperate, because he's actually kind of fallen off since like his hot start. Exeter front row is startable.
Worcester, Bath, Battle of the Titans.
Titans.
For Worcester, again, not sure the lineups, but Hugard will be playing, start him. Weir, I'm assuming he's going to play because he hasn't really played in Six Nations. Lewis and Colonel Dupree. For Bath, Obano, Stuke, McNally, Bayless, Mercer especially. I'm looking for players.
Come on, Mercer. I have so much stock in that dude.
and he's going to be a player who's putting his hand up because if you haven't noticed, England also need an 8.
Among other things.
And Reece Priestland because dude's a fucking points machine, especially in TRM.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Just lost my place. Hold on. Timeout. Yes, our boys. All right, so here's the fun part. Saracens are obviously a really good team, barring that last match that they played against the Quins. The Sale defense, fantasy-wise, it's a thing. It's a thing.
I've mentioned it a few times.
It's definitely a thing.
Oh yeah, you actually have sale this week.
Yeah. I almost the way it fell, I was like, oh, Ben's actually not going to get sale this week because I'm the one that usually assigns it. I was like, oh, Ben's actually not going to get sale this week, and I thought about flip flopping it just to give you sale, just to piss you off and be like, how the fuck? But no, the way things fell, I ended up with Saracens and sale. So anyway, sale defense are a thing. Saracens' front row is going to be a squint and hope and pray that they don't fall victim to the Sale front row defense because they've actually have a minus in FRD, a minus in points against. That's ridiculous. There's been more teams that score negative points against them in the first 9 rounds of this comp than positive. That's terrifying if you have front row going against them. So Saracens are one of the top scoring ones. So it's playable, but just squint and hope. Okay. Nick Asikwe, Brad Barrett are startable. Roddy Segun's startable. Mm-hmm. If Don Morris is somebody that gets thrown in there, he's actually not a bad option if you can pick him up off for FRD, especially Big Willie style. Don't play him. Don't play him. He's not been good in either format. So, and he's a very expensive, very large paperweight right now. Assuming he's done his ban as well.
Right.
I don't remember what I assume he is, but I could be wrong.
Oh, no, that should be over by now.
Anywho, over to the other side of the park. Sale Byron McGuigan if he plays. I don't know if Scotland are going to let him play. Steve Diamond strikes me as the type that wouldn't give a fuck, so he's going to play him. Any Dupria, play him. Dan, Rob, JL, all of them are okay. Ben Rensburg, FRD only. Sale front row play. Ashton, go ahead. John Ross has been pretty good in both. Acker, if he's a healthy, cheese him. And Faf is a play as well.
Off to Leicester.
Your favorite place in the world.
Oh, yeah. If it can't have Sale, I might as well have Leicester.
It's going to be one or the other.
Right. And just because of who they're playing, like who knows what the fuck Wasps are bringing. So I'm looking at Jordan Taufua, Kalamafoni, Guy Thompson. And I would, if you have an FRD, I wouldn't recommend it in TRM because you probably have got, you don't want to waste a 20-point or a free transfer on him. Ben White.
Yes, I like him. I do like him. Definitely for FRD. If he's available in your league, go snap him up right
good
now.
Good for a 1 week little cameo,
especially if you have Willie Hines.
Right, and for Wasps, I'm assuming Will Rollins is playing because he hasn't, even though he was called up.
Right.
And then Jack Willis, Nizam Carr, Robson, Umaga, and Kibarigi. These are guys, I mean...
Umaga might not play if Eddie Jones says no.
Oh.
That's a possibility. Just keep that in mind, because he is part of the squad.
Yeah, but fuck, he has guys and played.
I know. I know.
But it's Eddie Jones.
Again, we know that there's a likelihood that Eddie Jones is saving guys for one fucking match, which sucks.
Wait, the match, fuck it. I'm not even going there.
It's a different story for a different day, a whole different topic.
I just wrote an essay in my head in that like 10 millisecond thing between you saying something and me saying something, and no,
it's a lot.
I'm done.
It's a lot to dive into.
If you were listening and you've heard me talk about some of these things already, then you know what I'm about to say.
Yeah, so. You know where he's driving at with that. Oh man. Okay. To get into it, Quins and London Irish. This will be interesting. London Irish surrender the most points, so don't be shocked if there's a lot of Quins scoring all over the place. There's guys in this team that don't belong here because they should be playing for other things like England perhaps. Anywho, Marcus Smith, Ibitoye, Don Brandt, James Chisholm, Caden Murley, Levis, Elia, Kerr, Rob Shaw, roll it out there.
Even Rob Shaw?
Yeah, he's okay in TRM especially.
Okay.
FRD. TRM, you can probably find another flanker option. That's fine.
Fair enough.
London Irish, Ollie Hassel-Collins, unsittable.
Yeah.
Blair Cowan, unsittable. Ollie Hoskins is still one of the top scoring props in the whole thing. Definitely play him. Albert Tuasui, he has to be a guy in your FRD lineup. He's a lock playing 8-man. Do it. Don't hesitate. Just do it. He's still a big ball carrier on top of that, so do it. Do it and do it now.
Last Prem match, Saints versus Bristol.
Whee!
This one could be a cracker. I would love to see this game played with no defense whatsoever. Just get that ball and fucking attack. Let's open it the fuck up, because these teams can obviously both do that with extreme skill and
Pat Lam and
great
Chris
results.
Boyd. So
yeah,
this should be fun.
Let's see it. I want to see these two, middle of the ring, toe to toe, punch for punch, go for it. Go big, go home kind of thing. Yeah, all the cliches.
yeah.
But for the Saints, start Moon, Harrison, Tiamana Harrison I know you love him.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Kobus Reinach, Grayson's probably at 10, so
likely, yep.
So probably not FRD, but I'm sorry, TRM, but FRD. Pick up Grayson.
Yeah, grab him
for at least a little bit of a spell, especially if Bigger's seriously injured. I know he took a knock.
I don't know if he is. We'll find out. I mean, he's definitely going to be off this week, so
right.
No question about that.
Hutchinson, Nairavoro, Collins, those guys, they should be in your lineup. On the other side for the Bears, Thacker, because you can't not start him.
Yeah, he's back to his old self.
Vui, Luatua, Nathan Hughes, another one to look at. Like all these 8 men that
Eddie Jones won't pick.
Right. There's going to be some anger there.
By all these guys, yeah. I mean, it happened a couple weeks ago. We saw it.
And then another player who should also be on the England squad, Harry Randall. Start him. Callum Sheedy.
And has that apprentice role.
And the Pietaus.
Yeah, Pietaus. Nice.
Right. Randall, I mean... Yeah, I'm not going into that.
Yeah, that's a long tunnel. Stay away from the light.
I got my shovel out here to dig this, but I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, keep it out of there. All right, let's go down. Let's go down to.
We're going to do our start of the week, set of the weeks.
Oh yeah, Prem start of the week. Prem start of the week for me, no brainer. Alex Dombrant.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm also sticking with that same position and going Nathan Hughes.
Yeah, that's a good one too. My sit of the week is going to be Manu Vopolo.
All right, and mine is Will Skelton.
Yeah, assuming Manu Vopolo is playing, because he is playing for the U23s. I don't know if they're going to have an issue with him. I'm sure Mark McCall is going to kick the door down and say, fuck that.
Yeah.
I need him. So, yeah, play him, because hopefully they can drop Alex Good to fullback, who is healthy.
Oh, yes, he is.
Yay! All right, anyway, now to Super Rugby. Blues and Crusaders should be another entertaining one, as these Kiwi derbies seem to be. Talia, Parafeta, Hoskins Tutu is Fayani playing. Yep, TJ Fayani and Joe Marchand are all plays. I wonder what Akira Ioane did to piss off Leon McDonald, because I mean Tutu's played brilliantly to be fair, but I mean Akira Ioane, he could be the next All Black 8-man.
Right.
So it's like, wow.
I don't know if he's limited. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's a different topic or a different situation. Anywho, Crusaders. Over the Crusaders. Havili, Will Jordan, Anor, Braden Anor, Reese. Is Tom Christie playing? Yes, he is. Tom Christie's a go. Goodhue is a go, as he usually is. Tom Sanders and Cody Taylor is one of the few good scoring hookers in this competition. Yes, he's limited by minutes, but shit, he's still getting it done. And if you're in the 15-player variation, you better fucking play him. And that also makes the Crusaders front row probably pretty startable.
Mm-hmm. On to Rebels Taz. Well, this one's going to be a fucking cracker. It's without knowing who's starting this, it's going to be a extremely short list for now. We'll have obviously more later with the as the lineups come out and as we can really dive into the matchups. For the Rebels, there's not many. For actually both these teams, there's not much that's worth starting. So Dane Hillett Petty, obviously he's obviously a starter. Nasarani's obviously a starter for the Rebels. For the Taz, Hooper, because you can't not have
tackle
him.
Machine.
And as much as I've joked about it, Curtly Beale will be putting up points, I think, especially against the Rebels, who've proven to be a little leaky.
Yep.
And I'm going to try it. Nawakana Tawasi.
Godspeed.
I know he's not starting. We actually do have that lineup already, but he's going to come off the bench, and he's a guy you just can't take out of your lineup right now, because especially as we said, the Rebs are leaky.
Scoring at a pretty good clip right now.
He could still score a try off the bench, so that's worth the risk of starting him, even though he's on the bench.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. The kid's electric right now. Okay, to the land of the rising sun, some Wolves and Chiefs. Chiefs leaving the country of New Zealand for the first time. Some Wolves, we got a little bit more information about them after their first match. Then they had a bye, so I'm going to do my best to give you the advice that I can. Garth April, grab him. If you are desperate at fly half, he is not a terrible option. He scored very well last week. Sun Wolves front row is kind of a squint your eyes and hope, because they did score well last week, but I don't know if it's a fluke or not. So that's the thing. Jabba Brickabata, the hooker for the Sun Wolves, the Georgian hooker. Play him. Ben Teo, Dargaville, Jared Adams is another front rower that did well there. Go ahead and roll him out there as well. For the Chiefs, Chiefs front row scored very well last week. I think it's going to continue. They have some good stuff. Takeaho is actually a good hooker to throw in there as well. He's one, again, there are not many really good scoring hookers, so if you have him, you gotta play him. Like, I have one hooker on my roster, and that's how it's always going to stay with this, unless you have deep benches, in which case, God bless you. Ali Malo, Cruden, Damian Mack, Stevenson, Boshier, Tapia has played brilliantly since he got put into the lineup, so play him. Wainui, you know, I know one of these guys is going to end up sitting, but if he's in, play him. ALB, Dur, Sam Kane, and Soakula, they've split time. They've still been serviceable at the very least as a loose forward, so both are playable. On
to the Hurricanes and Sharks, which again should be a pretty fucking cracker of a match.
Should be a good match, yeah.
The
Hurricanes' first home match.
Hurricanes coming home. Again, still not knowing the lineup. But Karifi, we talked about him a little bit, but guys putting up points, start him. Evans,
yep.
I don't know how much Jamie Booth's going to play, but at this point, I think even if he's...
he's scoring at a good clip,
right.
So it's not a terrible idea if you're desperate at scrum half.
Right, so even if he's on the bench, another guy you should have in your lineup. Jordy and Lamapi are the guys you really should be looking at. For the Sharks, Fossey, of course. Kerwin Bosch.
He made me eat my words. Good Lord.
Because he's been lighting it up
Yep.
so far both weeks. So it's just a guy who, he breaks one tackle and there he goes.
See ya.
So,
got some wheels.
Right. Kerwin Bosch, Venter, and Mapimpi guys.
James Venter. He played so well the first week. He didn't quite score well, and I was glad to see that come to fruition last week where he scored really well.
And I feel like he could. I think this could be a pretty wide open match. Again, we don't know who the Sharks are bringing with them, so and whether or not they're going to start all these guys. But
I assume it won't be too far from the lineup they brought to the Highlanders.
True.
Yeah, so we'll see. Brumbies and said Highlanders. So Brumbies have actually scored really well over the first few weeks, so there's plenty of good pickings from that one. Tom Wright, Simone, we talked about Tom Banks, Lolesio, if you picked him up, God bless you and thank your lucky stars that you figured out. Either one, you did your research and figured out who he was, or two, you were the first one on the waiver wire that snapped him up. Either way. Pete Samu, Tom Cusack, both playing very well. Even Valentini's playing serviceable in the back row there. And again, another position that if they're scoring well, you fucking don't blink starting them as long as they're in the lineup. Alan Alatoa for the Brumbies, their prop. Highlanders, not great to start off the year, obviously. So I'm only going to give a few guys that did well last week and hope if you spent an early round pick on some of the Highlanders, give them another week, ride them out there like Aaron Smith, Ioane, the likes. But Dylan and Mitch Hunt might be okay. Michael Collins is probably okay. And Yona Nurecki, who was the only guy that managed to put up anything that was, more than respectable for the Highlanders. So go ahead and roll him out there.
And on to the Lions versus Stormers, which this could be an interesting game. It could also be a snooze fest.
Yep.
Yeah, depending on...
South African derbies, man.
Right. But for the Lions, Masson, Elton Yankees, and Marnus Skuman are guys you just can't take out of your lineup at the moment. So they'll be they're starters even if they're on the bench in the lineup. And then for the Stormers, Sinatla, Damian Willems, and Jaco Coetzee. Are guys you want. Still, I like Jamie Roberts still, even though he didn't get over, but I can't recommend him as a starter.
Not quite
just yet. He's kind of if you have to spot start him, you spot start him.
Fair enough, yeah. what was I going to say? Lions did sign Waaka Creel back from Gloucester as well.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that was a bit of news last week.
So it'll be wondering, maybe he'll be on the field, maybe he won't.
That'd be a thought. He produced fantasy wise for Gloucester, just FYI. So if he's out there and you're desperate and he's starting,
and they play a very open style, so he'll fit right in.
It's a possibility that he does well.
Back in there. So
okay, and then am I reading this right? Are they getting 3 home games in a row, Jaguars?
Looks like it.
Jeez. That's a gift right there. I mean, they have the biggest pain in the ass to travel, so I understand it. But start the season off 3 games in a row. They'll be going on a 3-4 game roadie here soon. Anyway, digress. Boffelli, Miotti, their front row. Either hooker are actually serviceable as well, so go ahead and give that a whirl. Malia, Maroney, Delgui, Carreras. They've got players that are scoring. Petty's actually scoring really well. He's a lock, I think. So throw him out there. Cabelli, Kramer, Gorson, which is the new the new blood there. All startable. So go ahead. Reds are a little leaky as well. So definitely consider most guys that are wearing a black shirt in Argentina this weekend. For the Reds, the obvious ones: Bryce Haggerty, James O'Connor, Henry Spate, Jock Campbell played pretty well. Tate McDermott's a really good scrum have to have for yourself, and Harry Wilson has been tearing it up for the loose forwards. So go ahead and roll him out there. Okay, start of the week. My start of the week is going to be Marika Corabetti from the Rebels against the Waratahs. Scores pretty well. Waratahs are super leaky. They're the worst team so far in the first 2 weeks on average. I'm going to go ahead and bet my money on that one.
And I'm sticking, I think, same match, and I'm going with Dane Haley-Petty.
Oh, yeah, I like that one too.
Because he scored over 30 points both matches this week. Very much making me happy in the process because I have him in both of our leagues.
Nice.
And so yeah, he's gonna be my start of the week, which means he'll get like
shit.
Yeah, it means he'll get red carded in the first 5 minutes.
Something like that. But Dave Rennie, are you watching? International quality fullback right there, Dane Haley-Petty.
No, Curtly Beale.
Whatever.
Oh wait, no, he's playing 9 and 10. Shit.
Every other position that they don't seem to know what to do with. My sit of the week is going to be a guy that almost scored a hat trick last week, but is now playing against a really, really tough and stingy defense this week, Tyrone Green.
And my sit of the week is a guy who, for all his heroics in the World Cup, has really been a disappointment so far this year, and that's to be Lucanio Am.
Oh yeah, I know. He was picked pretty high, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and that's basically just there's expectations on him, and he's not delivering. Not delivering
no.
So far. And it's only 2 games in, but still, it's not.
It's not been. The evidence is not good so far.
It's not looking promising either. That's really the problem. Is that sometimes there's players where you're like, oh, you're just that. He's been a ghost.
Not even. Yeah. So. All right, let's go to the pick-a machine. Ben took the lead on me this past week after sweeping our 3 opposing different picks that we had. Let's go to Friday night for the Prem. We'll start with the Prem as we usually do. If it's in swing at least. Gloucester and Exeter. Gloucester at home, and I'm gonna take the boys in the cherry and white.
Yeah.
Yes. They didn't lose a whole lot to the Six Nations squads, with the exception of Paledri and Brayley and Owen Williams. I think that's the one. Am I missing anybody? Willie Hines. But they have Joe Simpson, so I'm not worried about that.
Right. Simpson will be fine.
Yeah, I don't. And the status on Sips isn't necessarily good news still, so we're still waiting on that, but that's all right.
No, it's not, but they can move the ball even without Sips enough. I think
their backs are still pretty good. So.
They're still pretty good.
Mark Atkinson still plays for them. Last time I checked, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, to Saturday, Worcester and Bath. Yay.
Neither. They both lose. Not even a tie. They both lose.
I don't know if that's possible.
They'll figure it out.
Figure it out. I'm going to take Worcester.
I'm also going to take... Oh, I'm going opposite. I'm going to go Bath.
You go Bath. All right. That's fine.
Because the Bath are... neither of these teams are particularly touched by the World Cup. And
you mean the Six Nations?
I'm sorry, Six Nations.
Attaboy.
One of those international competitions. They don't matter right now. We're talking Premiership. But I want to see... I think Bath can hold it together a little bit longer than than Worcester can, even at home.
Yeah. So this is the next one, Saracens Sale. Really interesting. Saracens went up to Sale last week in the Prem Cup semifinal. Lost pretty well. Mm-hmm. Didn't necessarily bring their strongest team, though, either. Sale probably rolled out one of their stronger teams and put a pretty good number on them. I don't know. I'm really tempted to pick Sale, honestly, because they haven't been hurt that badly by the international call-ups. But I suppose if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down in flames. I'm going to back the Saracens.
At home, they tend to rock up at the currently named Allianz Park. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I'm going to go Sarries too, and not that I think Sale won't bring a good team and all, and not that Sarries will put out their best lineup, obviously. But I think Sarries can still choke them out a little bit at home. It's not going to be a pretty match.
It may not be, no.
But I think Sarries will defend well enough to win at home.
Yeah, defense might be the answer here. Leicester and Wasps. I'm gonna go with Wasps. I got a feeling about this, new coach galvanization type of thing here with them, and
Leicester are missing their whole fucking team. So
a good chunk of the boys that they really need to lean on.
Right. So I'm gonna agree with you on that.
Okay. Quinn's Irish. Quinn's haven't been really hurt by the international call-ups, and Irish are Irish, so right. I'm gonna go with the Quins.
Dalek Stombrat is gonna, he's your start of the week.
Hat trick. Let's go.
For good reason. He's gonna, he's one to have.
Hopefully, I'm not playing him in FRD. I'd be like, shit. And then to what'll probably be the most
missed one.
What do we do?
Oh, you got. Oh,
yeah. What'll probably be the most entertaining.
Yes.
Match of this weekend, at least in the Prem. Saints and Bristol. Oh boy, it's at Franklin's Gardens. It's the one thing I'm going to give the Saints, so I am going to go with the Saints.
I'm going to agree on that one.
Yeah, if this was at Ashton Gate, I might back the Bears.
But it's just too much to. Yeah.
Not to poo on Pat Lam and Co, but I think this is, and the Saints are flying high right now too. On top of that, yeah, they lost to Irish, but they're going to be out for they're going to take it out on these guys. I think a little bit. All right, let's go to Super Rugby. Blues Crusaders. Oh my.
After last week, this is going to be even
this
better.
This is tight.
These two, because Blues, there's blood in the water for the Crusaders.
Yeah,
Blues are at home, but
it's the fucking Crusaders.
The Crusaders with their back against the wall a little bit. Yeah. It's too early in the season for them to be desperate, but they can't afford to lose another.
I don't see Razor letting them do that. I'm gonna go with the Crusaders. I do not see Scott Robertson letting that happen.
Although it would be fucking entertaining as hell.
It would be, but I don't see Robertson letting that happen, especially since Mwanga's back.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you.
Yeah. Rebels Waratahs. Oh boy, neither team has managed to win a game this year. Both have looked okay in spurts. The team, to me, that has got the most potential to light the scoreboard up is the Rebels. They're playing at home. This is their first home match. I'm going to go with the Melbourne team.
I am too. And for those same exact reasons, is that the Rebels, coming into the season, I thought they would be the best team in Australia. I still think they could be, and I think they start that this weekend.
There you go. Yeah, they still could easily be the best team in Australia, though Brumby's definitely going to say something about it now. Sunwolves Chiefs. Oh my, another tough one. I mean, both are technically undefeated, although Sunwolves had a bye last week. So,
right. And Chiefs are traveling, so it's a little bit.
Chiefs are not the Rebels, so I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, the way they've been playing.
They still especially have so much talent.
Again, the biggest difference between last year and this year isn't the attack; it's the defense, and that's a team thing. That's not individuals. So even if they're not playing even if they're bringing, I can speak. Even if they're not bringing their best side,
words,
right? If they're not bringing their best side, they're still going to be able to defend against the Sunwolves. So I'm going to stick with my boys.
Yeah. All right. Hurricanes Sharks. Hurricanes first home game. I think this is where the Sharks' undefeated run comes to an end. This is not the Highlanders. This is the Hurricanes, and they showed some grit last week by being able to come from behind and rebound from a very bad performance in South Africa. So I'm going to back the guys in yellow and go with it.
And just like with the Crusaders, again, not a must-win for the Canes, but because it's too early in the season, but they need it. And at this point, I think
pace.
You're right. The home team that needs the game more than the away team.
Yeah, this is where the Sharks are playing brilliantly. This should be a great game. So right. We'll see how that turns out. Brumbies and Highlanders. After the stinker the Highlanders turned in, and the way the Brumbies are playing, this will be their third game in Australia in the last, I think actually at home in the last 3 weeks. So 3-3. I'm going to go ahead and say that they don't budge.
Think the Brumbies win?
Brumbies win.
I'm going to go with the Highlanders.
Yeah, you think they're going to bounce back a little bit?
I'm not a believer in the Brumbies just yet.
Yep, fair enough.
So, and again, the Highlanders, they came out with that stinker in their first match of the season. It could be that first match jitters. I think they maybe get some rockets up some asses and say, again, need to keep pace. And if they want any shot, if they go 0-2 against some weaker teams to start the season, that's bad. That's bad. That's what they call it. That's the technical term for it. It's bad.
Lions and Stormers and what would be likely a shit show. Stormers are undefeated. They didn't lose last week, did they?
Didn't. No, they won 13-0 last week.
Oh yeah, ugly and ugly again.
Cracker of the
ugly
match.
Again. They shall be, but they shall do it. Stormers.
Yeah, I agree too.
Yeah. And then over to Argentina, Jaguars and Reds. And I wrote Lions by accident.
I knew what you meant. I actually read that as Reds earlier. So.
Attaboy. Same wavelength here. This is not where the Reds get their first win.
No, it is not.
Sorry.
No.
Jaguars will begin ruining last week. So that'll be that.
Yeah, Jags got a little bit of taste of the big time last year. And I think
the target's on their back now too.
It is.
Nobody's going to sleep on them.
And I think they're going to step up, and that team's put some massive improvements in from top to bottom.
Okay.
So I'm just not a fan of the Reds. I'm not. I'm not a believer in them this year.
Yeah. It's not quite there. Okay. Yeah. Lots to cover. Lots to talk about, but we did it.
Yay!
We're still alive. Thanks for joining us. Back next week with recapping this. We'll pick the Six Nations back up. Obviously, it's gonna be a fucking chaotic week the following week. Woo-wee. Lots to talk about. I'll be traveling for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where are you headed?
To the land of God's waiting room.
Oh shit. Oh. At least it'll be warm.
It'll be warm, and I'm gonna have a beer in my hand. And I'm not going to be working.
It's America's Wang, so
that little thing hanging out down there.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't get the reference, he's going to Florida.
Going to Florida
because that's where all the old heads retire to. So
yeah. No, it'll be good. Just a little R&R, but
there you go.
But we'll still have time to pod though, so that'll be
excellent.
That'll be the good thing. We'll be back next week. Check your TRM upgrades. Check out Fantasy Rugby Geek for your information. Hit Ben or I up on Twitter, fantasyrugbypodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions that you need answered. Other than that, we're getting the fuck out of here. Later, everybody.
Later.